again, everyone, to this edition of OR Hope Open Mic. We join everyone every other Wednesday, the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month, to talk all about regenerative health, stem cells, all the different type of cells, all the different type of news, articles, and most importantly, your questions and concerns and things that might be on your mind, and how OR Hope as a group, we can share information and learn more together and take things away from there. We have a number of people on, Nancy, Debbie, a few other folks. So if anybody wants to start off with a kickoff question, feel free to jump in.
Hey, I just want to just hear about the process and see what this looks like. So,
yeah, that's a great question. Especially because our process is a little bit different than what you might find with other clinics out there. We act as a concierge, a guide, and advocate because we've done this now for several years. I've treated over 500 clients over those years, and with everybody's unique own approach. Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you because I kind of gave a brief there, and I probably missed one or two points. So please jump in and add to that if you would.
Sure, I'll just go through some quick and easy steps. What if someone is interested in evaluating stem cell therapy in particular, but there's a broad range of things that go into that bucket of regenerative health. If they're interested in it, the process is someone contacts us and says, "Hey, I would like to get more information." Usually, that starts with a one-on-one discussion. Almost like this, except without other people involved, to kind of go over, well, what kind of particular health issues or disorders are you suffering from that you'd like treatment with, and answering any specific questions someone might have about how to move forward. If someone, at the point someone says, "Okay, that sounds great, I would like to get a consultation and a plan of treatment," we send out a questionnaire, healthcare questionnaire, which really captures one's health condition in a lot more detail, because a doctor is going to need that to prepare for a consultation, and then to do to feed into the eventual plan of treatment. So we gather the health information. Depending on what kind of inputs come in, we may have in a specific case where we know, based on hundreds and hundreds of clients, a doctor may say, well, if they have this, do they have this kind of test or that kind of x-ray or this MRI? So we know what to anticipate, what they're going to need. Once we have that information, we set someone up. Our lead consulting doctor is Dr. Adolfo Reyes, and I'm actually here with my wife in Tijuana, where Dr. Reyes, his clinic exists. And we spent the whole day with them in a really mind-blowing set of meetings that we could talk about for a great deal of time. But he would generally do the review of the health information and come up with a plan of treatment. Dr. Adolfo's got a huge clinical experience. He's worked with us on several hundred clients with various chronic illnesses. And he also has peers that he relies on, that if someone has, for example, an orthopedic issue or a cancer, oncology type issue, neurologist, so neurological issues, he would involve them in putting together the plan of treatment. And that plan of treatment is basically the medical recommendation of what all would be involved, what are the steps, what are the materials that are involved. What we do with that is then put that into a more comprehensive document that says, hey, here's what your process would be like. Here's how many days it would be entailed. Here are the treatments you would have, day 1, day 2, day 3. Here is so lots of detail, including item by item, what are the prices, and in total, what's the total cost of treatment. So before someone makes a decision about, do I really want to go forward with this, they've had a plan of treatment, they've had the consultation, they have the ability to, even at that stage, come back and ask the doctor, hey, you recommended this. Can you tell me why you recommend that, or what this material is and why that's in my plan of treatment? So getting comfortable with it. And at that point, someone should have enough information they can kind of decide, do I want to move forward? Do I not want to do it at all? Or do I want to use this information, spend more time, and when I get comfortable, make that decision? So that's at that when someone says, I think I'm ready to go, I'd like to move forward, then we get into logistics planning, and that's where Nurse Christina basically builds a full itinerary for what flights are you on, where are you staying, what days are your treatments, what time are your treatments, what's the addresses, and so forth, and everything you need to have to go through without any major questions or concerns or complications.
How's that overview, Strauss? Any follow-on questions, or did it all make sense to you?
No, that made perfect sense, and I understand the step-by-step and the logistics and everything. And then another question would be, what kind of percent success? Because I don't think these are 100% effective all the time. From what I've been studying, what percentage are you guys seeing?
Yes, Strauss, that's A, you're correct, and then B, it varies a lot, and probably the key factors that it varies on is what is the disorder itself, and how long has someone had it, and how much damage has it done. So, for example, if you take, I'll just give you some good guidelines on that. If we deal with a ton of people who have had autoimmune issues, and in particular long COVID, hundreds and hundreds of people, including ourselves. Autoimmune type issues, our doctors love treating those because they respond so well, and most of the organs that are impacted, like your GI system, your lungs, etc., also repair very well from stem cells. So that's the good end of the spectrum. And you're talking, I would say over 80% of the people who come in for autoimmune get what they need in one visit. Remember, there's always edge cases out there. We deal with people who've had MS for 20 years, and okay, that's an autoimmune. That's going to be a lot longer path because it's many years and even decades of damage that's been done that needs to be reversed. It's affected a lot of different systems. So autoimmune type stuff, very high success rate. Anything GI, neuromuscular tends to be very well. Lung issues, whether it's fibrosis, sarcoidosis, etc., very high success rate. If you say, what are the things our doctors say, these are the hardest things to deal with, it would be neurological. If you have brain injury due to accidents, brain injury due to med injuries that affect the brain, those are the ones that are very case by case specific, and would have the highest chance of you being told it's a long path, and it certainly isn't one treatment to get there. So it's not that it will fail, it's how fast you will recover and what percentage of capability you recover. I want to differentiate one thing. A lot of people with long COVID, for example, get neurological issues. They get brain fog. They get, inability to find words. They get where they can't remember things. They can't, they get lost in the store and don't realize they've been in the, in a shopping market for 3 hours and don't have anything in their basket. That's a very temporary thing, and it responds very, very well because most people with long COVID have not had it for a long time. It's not really brain damage. It is that your brain isn't functioning right. Stem cell works very well for that. The things where we say neurological doesn't work fast would be things like you had medicines prescribed to you, and all the people who've been on Oxy and whatever for years and years and years, and it has damaged a lot of the receptors. That's going to be that's a lot of physical damage to your brain. It's going to take a lot of recovery, and you're probably never going to get 100% of that back.
So are these stem cell injections that you guys are doing?
So typically, in about well, in virtually every case, there are intravenous injections of stem cells involved. There are about half a dozen different means of administration of stem cells that can be nebulized, so breathing. It can be in eye drops for people with glaucoma and macular degeneration type issues. It can be intramuscular. It can be intrathecal, which really is primarily for people with neurological damage, and you're trying to get principally exosomes to go in with the spinal fluid into the brain. So there's about 6 different ways to administer, but in virtually every case, IV will be the principal means of administration, and then it will tend to be complemented with 1 or 2 other means of administration. And that's, again, very individual depending on what you're dealing with. Does that answer your question, Nancy?
Yes, it did.
The IVs are no different, when you do a stem cell IV, it has really no difference than if you went in to get, if you're dehydrated and you went into some center to get a bag of saline, because the stem cells are in basically saline solution. And a typical administration for that would be anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, just depending on how many stem cells and how fast your body, each of us on any given day, and depending on our bodies, will absorb those fluids faster or slower. But you're basically saying, I'll walk in there and probably plan to be an hour with no real sensations other than just what you typically get with any IV.
Great questions, and it's really great to hear the process laid out. That we haven't had that discussion in some time, so I appreciate the opportunity to kind of review the fundamentals of how we approach things. And I think part of that fundamental is the fact that there's a lot of places where you'll basically say, like, here's what my condition is, and there's a pre-package. Okay, we've got so many millions of stem cells, and it costs X amount of dollars. And what we've found is that it really, to get the most effective and optimal treatment, having a personalized plan and really going a lot further than just simply stem cells only, and other products, other aspects to complement those stem cells, and really understanding your personal body chemistry and situation. If it's orthopedic, having the imagery with that as well is a critical component to really putting together a plan that's right just for you.